Today we are in Bad Wildbad, one of the historic spa towns in the Black Forest. The earliest confirmed written record of Bad Wildbad is from 1376, when the Bishop of Speyer was asked to permit the Wildbad chaplain to perform baptisms and burials. From early on, what was known simply as Wildbad was a popular bathing resort. Various nobles and officials, both secular and religious, came to take the waters. Since 1990, the town has been called Bad Wildbad. If you prefer to travel by train, there is a direct line coming in from Pforzheim. For those coming from Stuttgart, there are excursion trains that run twice in each direction on Sundays and holidays from May 1st through mid-October. After the Napoleonic Wars in the early 19th century, travel to the spa town slowly grew with its peak in the early 20th century. Taking the waters became ever more popular as a medical treatment for life in the cities. However, travel was slowed at the beginning of World War I. One of the spas which were popular with the glitterati of the 19th and early 20th century is Palais Thermal. Construction on Palais Thermal finished in 1847 over natural thermal springs. Overhauled at the turn of the 20th century, Palais Thermal was tiled and ornamentally painted in the Art Nouveau style which remains today. There is also the Königliches Kurtheater. This was another popular bathhouse built in the 1880s. Filled with a number of smaller baths, there was also a large reception hall. In 1959, plans were made to demolish the building in favor of new construction. However, Königliches Kurtheater was saved, and in 1972 placed on Denkmalschutz. This means it is a protected historical building. The building is no longer used as a spa, but a popular cultural spot. Concerts are regularly held by local and visiting musicians. Many of the spa rooms are still on display as part of a museum. It is also used for various exhibits such as Lego displays. There is a side room adapted into a small cinema.
So first, Bad Wildbad is known for taking waters. I'm going to take some of the waters. No, it's not sulfur water. It's just fresh spring water, no surprises here, that's good.
The Königliches Kurtheater was built in 1872 as a music hall. Popular at the time was the lower brow music and comedy, what we would call vaudeville in America. In the 1890s, it was redesigned to be a grander, more elite theater to suit the spa patrons. In 2001, restoration work began, and once again it is a cultural landmark regularly hosting classical concerts and popular entertainers from around Germany. In 1856, one of the more high-profile visitors was Gioacchino Rossini, a famous opera composer. The town remembers his works every year at an opera festival, Rossini in Wildbad. Visitors can hear the music reverberate through the halls of the Trinkhalle, where previous guests used to partake of spring waters for their health. As you walk around the town, there is a sight not many are used to outside America's Pacific Northwest. There are sequoia trees. In the 1860s, King Wilhelm I was interested in growing the trees and had his administration order some from California. The young trees were distributed throughout Germany in 1865. A few still stand in Bad Wildbad at over 150 years old. The largest in the town is next to the English church and stands at 45 meters high, about half the height of its Californian brothers. Along with the numerous mainland European visitors, many tourists from England used to visit Wildbad. An English church was built in 1861 specifically to hold English church services. It was so well known, even the Illustrated London News ran articles about it. Services were held regularly for Church of England members until 1914. The church still stands and holds evening prayers every Thursday, but no longer in English. The English church is in the Core Park, a beautiful location to stroll through. There you can see the Rose Garden. As part of the spa grounds, it was a popular place to visit for fresh air, with a reading hall built in 1912. Today there is a pottery workshop and gallery. Dotted around the garden are various mythological figures. They were commissioned in 1864 by Queen Olga for the Neue Schloss in Stuttgart. After the monarchy was dissolved, they made their way to the baths approximately 100 years ago. Built in 1875, the Moorish Pavilion was erected. Today, this is a popular location for weddings. Take a walk through the heart of the town. The Enns River bisects Bad Wildbad, and there are multiple bridges to help you navigate. Plenty of 19th century charm remains, and there is a wide variety of architecture. The major streets sport a handful of clothing shops, restaurants, and hotels. There is a cute tourist shop catering to Black Forest goods, including locally produced spirits. The Wildline is a popular fair trade shop built in the Graf-Eberhard Bau. The 19th century facade is covered in ornate paintings. The Rossini-Seifenmanufaktur is a local business dedicated to making natural soaps. The various soaps are produced on site. All that wandering around can sure get exhausting. Stop for a cold gelato and sit by the river to recover. Curious what is in the surrounding area? Check out the tourist office. One of our favorite local places to treat ourselves is at the Kaffeemanufaktur. All their coffee is roasted on site and a wide selection is available to purchase for home consumption. Personally, while I am not a coffee drinker, I really enjoy sitting with a hot chocolate and one of their homemade pastries with a chocolate on the side. For the more outdoorsy types, there are plenty of areas to stretch your legs. For over 100 years, the Sommerbergbahn has been carrying passengers up and down the mountain. Only a few euros, the cable cars run every half hour. Once up the hillside, visitors can enjoy various activities. For the young, there is a large playground open on the weekends with various climbing structures. For the young at heart, there is the Baumwipfelpfad, a 20-meter tall structure that spirals around, giving a beautiful view over the forest canopy. There are multiple stations to explore along the 1.2-kilometer walk. After you are at the top, the best way down is via the large slide.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh
God! On your way to the Baumwipfelpfad, check out various structures dotting the woods.
And as you walk along, who knows what beautiful music you can make?
If you want to practice your German, listen to Das kalte Herz, a fairy tale.
Das kalte Herz. Nach den Märchen von Wilhelm Hauff. Erzählt von Andreas Fröhlich. Kapitel 1.
There are also different educational displays about the Enns River and local history. If you are very lucky, you may just catch sight of the endangered Auerhahn, part of the pheasant family. For the very brave, walk across the Hängebrücke Wildline.
So we're gonna go on the Hängebrücke Wildline. It's a suspension bridge, and we're gonna check that out.
This suspension bridge is a little different from others. Hanging about 60 meters above the ground, the length is 380 meters, equal to the height of the Empire State Building. It hangs in the middle, so you feel like you are suspended in mid-air and unable to see either end. If you have a fear of heights, it may be best to avoid this, as the bridge also sways a little when being crossed.
If you have any vertigo, that is not for the faint of heart.
There is a bike trail geared toward mountain bikes with numerous paths at varying levels of difficulty. In neighboring Kalmbach, there is still evidence of the huge timber industry this region is known for. Nestled in the Black Forest, there are an abundance of trees which have been harvested for centuries. Situated on the Enns River, there is a convenient source of transportation. The lumberjacks would cut down the trees, then slide them down the mountain to the valley. From there, they would roll them in the river to float down to neighboring sawmills. There are still active lumber mills in Kalmbach and Höfen. Such a large part of the local history, there is the Flüsser Museum depicting the business of felling the trees and transporting them along with various artifacts. The museum is open Sundays from 2 to 5 from April through October. Venture a little farther afield, and you could see the Faustburg Tower and ruins. The original castle dated from the 13th century, but long since fell into ruin by the 16th century. The view from the tower is lovely. I can also tell from personal experience, it's a nice place to do a medieval hike in the winter. Be certain to check out Bad Wildbad for a nice excursion into the Black Forest. See you there, see you everywhere!